Hi everyone. In this video we are going to go over another capital budgeting technique called the accounting rate of return. The accounting rate of return focuses on operating income. You are going to figure out the average annual operating income from the asset. You will divide by the initial investment. Here's how you're going to get that. You will take the annual cash inflow. You'll subtract depreciation expense. I'll talk about that in a minute. You will divide by the initial investment. Okay. Why? Because ARR, the accounting rate of return, is based on operating income on an accrual basis. So let's think about depreciation. If it's been a while for accounting, depreciation, you figure out the amount, and the journal entry is debit depreciation expense, credit accumulated depreciation. That does not touch cash. Okay, so you want to subtract out your non-cash items from your operating income. All right, so let's look at the particular problem that we're going to do. All right, so here it is. It is Playmore Products data set. So we're going to go back to the original for Playmore Products. Calculate the toy action figure products ARR. So in this particular problem, we're going to do it with two different scenarios. The first scenario, it tells us that the cash flow is $312,500. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put in $312,500. That's the cash flow. The next, we're going to subtract out depreciation expense. Well, it doesn't give us depreciation expense. It's going to make us figure it out. But here's what it does say. Let's go back to the problem. The products require different specialized machines, each machine costing $1 million. Each machine has a 5-year life and 0 residual value. This is for the first analysis, 0 residual value. So I go over here and I put the cost of the asset, which is $1 million. And then I divide it by the life of the asset in years. They told me it's going to last 5 years. So I divide it out and I derive 200,000. Now understand what that number is. That is the depreciation expense for this asset. So I go over here and I input that number, 200,000. And I'm going to subtract that. And then I'm going to divide it by the initial cost, the total cost of the asset, and that is $1 million. Okay, I divide it out and I come up with a decimal, of course, 0.1125. I convert that to a percent, and that is 11.25%. All right, so I look back at the problem. What is the hurdle rate? The hurdle rate in this particular problem, they are saying is 8%. So yes, we will accept this because our rate that we figured out is higher than the hurdle rate. If it was lower, no, we would not do it. So make sure you understand when you would accept this project for a decision or when you would not accept it. Okay, same problem. Here's what they now change. Okay, if the toy action figure project had a residual value of $175,000, would the ARR change? Absolutely. All right, so now we're going to change it. We're going to go over here and we're going to get rid of this. We're going to subtract now the residual value. Okay, so the residual value that they gave us was $175,000. Okay, all right, so I subtract that out. And then I divide it out. Okay, now my depreciation equals, so this would be 825. And I would divide that by 5. and that will equal 165,000. Okay? All right, so now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to erase, right? My depreciation now is 165,000. So I erase that and I input that number, 165. I still keep the million the same, that didn't change. I divide it out. And the number that I originally get is 0.1475. I convert it 2 places to the right, right? So 14.75%. Absolutely, I'm going to accept that. That is much higher than the hurdle rate. So do 2 different scenarios on how to compute ARR. Okay, get in the lab, get that work done. See you soon.